it's here. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Cheryl's still kind of at the edge.
I am I'm trying to get in as close as I can, but
I think you're doing good. You're just like, the
I'm
light
just
is
kinda
kind
really
of coming
relaxed.
from over here.
yeah.
And here, we can probably let's see if I can let people see. Can you move your head?
Mhm.
Look, there's Bimini over there. Okay, I'm coming back here now. Hopefully Cheryl's head will come back too.
And now my glasses are all dark.
Because they turn with the sun. So it's about, hey, vegan knowledge, JJ. It's awesome to see you. We're super, super relaxed.
Yeah.
We had a beach day that I actually enjoyed.
That's
I'm
unusual for
pasty
her.
white, so the sun isn't always my friend. Hey, Jill. We spent the day at Bimini Beach Club, which Virgin Voyages, when they come over here, they kind of buy out this beach club.
Yeah.
And so we found, what would you call, it's like a day bed with this like canopy. It wasn't like a full canopy, but like one of those things that kind of come up like a shell,
Yeah.
where we could hide our pasty white butts in.
So we didn't get all sunburned.
But we played in the water some.
We did. It was very rough earlier today.
You
It
guys
almost
can
knocked
still
me on my
see
butt.
back there. I mean, it's the first time we were supposed to come into Bimini, we couldn't make it. I guess there's just this little thing and the boat couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So yay for getting here. JJ says Dawn's glasses do that too. She calls her movie star look. And hey, Linda, it's good to see you guys. So how was your weekend? Yeah? If you like, I like the name Bimini. It bounces.
Yeah.
Like once you start the word, you can't stop it a little
Right?
bit.
Yeah. And it's actually a really nice place. Like the place that they rent out.
And they had some really good vegan food. I'm going to be showing you some pictures of that. So there was like a Caribbean pumpkin curry, so kind of creamy with eggplant and peppers and green beans. They had rice and beans that were vegan.
They were very tasty. I had the rice and beans.
They had this fruit salad that was like in a passion fruit syrup. It was really good. It was like blueberries and watermelon and melons and things like that. What else? I'm trying to think of.
That was it for food, really. That we didn't really eat that much while we were there.
No, we had some breakfast here down in Lucky Lotus. So you had some avocado toast, and I got the rice bowl. There's a salmon rice bowl that I got without salmon and without an egg. I probably wouldn't do it again because it was mostly pickled vegetables and a little bit of rice, so it wasn't super amazing. But they've got a really good vegan rice noodle dish that I'll probably get next week for sure.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing that you ate this week? This is the last night of our 8-day cruise, and then we're moving rooms on the same ship, and we're doing a 6-night cruise. So we've never done that before. We're trying to figure out how that works. Then we have to pack everything.
Yeah.
Because we don't move it all ourselves. So
Right.
so I can't be as sloppy with packing as I am with us, where everything's little bags. Hey, Jill D. and Lydia. Healthy Eating for Happier Life. It's good to see you. The food has been really, really good. JJ says, cool, you guys make me want to travel. I would say out of all our cruises that we've done since December, this has been my very favorite and
Yeah.
felt like a real vacation.
It really did. I mean, like from the first moment that we were in line and we met, all the great people in line, and we've run into them several times. And then right after that, we had lunch with our friends from Houston who are originally from the UK.
And we've run into them several times and
so
hung
many
out.
times,
So, like when you kind of feel like the world is encroaching on you and you're not feeling like people are so nice, this cruise helped kind of soothe that for me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've met so many cool people.
Yeah, this And then
of all ages too.
And then, like, we just mentioned to this one couple that we really liked their shirts, and then we ran into them again last night, and, like, they were just lovely, and he was just talking about, like, he likes to come on these cruises because it reminds him of how he should be when he goes home, like, how he should treat other people, because life should be like it is on this cruise.
Yeah.
Like, everybody being respectful for each other, everybody, like, accepting everybody's differences, everybody is just, like, nobody's judging anybody, nobody cares what anybody looks like in their swimsuit. It's just, like,
It's
just
been really good
really great.
for, like, kind of a self-esteem check.
Yeah.
Because we grew up, you know, we were teenagers in the 80s, which was not a great time for girls who didn't look like Calvin Klein models.
Or Barbie dolls,
right?
you know.
So it's kind of interesting to just, and enlightening, learning from everyone who's just like, this is mine,
Yeah.
this is what I have. And I'm like, I'm just so impressed with
Yeah.
everyone just being like, yep, this is me, and showing up the way they are. And I feel like Virgin Voyages in particular is come as you are, and you can, like, actually we were at the fancy test kitchen last night, and in t-shirts and shorts that we've been wearing all day, and
Nobody cares.
nobody cares.
They don't care what you wear to go eat. They don't care if you have a hat on.
Hey, Carlene.
Oh, Carlene that we had dinner with.
Yeah, at the Holistic Holiday.
Yay!
Cruise. And Monica, it's awesome to see you too. Vegan Knowledge says, I see a travel book in your future. Perhaps. Perhaps.
Maybe.
Well, it's kind of funny
Maybe
too.
some knockoff recipes from our favorites.
That's very likely. I really want to make this pumpkin curry we had at lunch. And then when we were visiting at St. Croix, I think we went live right after St. Croix. So when we had the rice and beans at the dog rescue.
Oh, the dog
volunteer
rescue
place.
was so fun. I can't wait to, I'm going to actually be doing some editing over next week, and I'm going to try to do one with the dog rescue so you guys can
So cute.
see it, go
So
find
cute.
them, go support them.
You
They're
can support
doing
them
great
if you
stuff.
come if you come to St. Croix or not as well. And also, they adopt out some of their dogs to people in the U.S. who come for vacation, or we found that some people snowbird
Snowbird there.
not snowboard. That would be hard.
Right.
But it's, you know, so then the dogs also get adopted, and they have volunteers who fly with them back and forth too, which is cool.
And they were saying that they do need volunteers in the States to help with these, like, caravans to transport the animals from airports to their future homes. So that's something I'm considering doing for them, because I think it's a great cause.
And they were so cute. And the people who are working there and working at the bar, they're all volunteers. All of the money goes towards the rescue, which is pretty awesome. And
I mean, it's kind of a genius idea, right?
And it was brilliant. There was some really cool seating, and we got to just hang out, have a drink, have a little lunch, pet a few puppies. It was awesome. Oh, and Linda's doing better. I'm glad that you're feeling better. I know that you're having some health issues. CJ says, I keep seeing adverts for cruises in the Norwegian fjords, and we have her tempted where we're going to the Norwegian fjords in August.
And it's not so
From
far
the
that you
UK.
couldn't jump on that one.
Right? We're going to be taking the Cunard from Portsmouth. Is it Portsmouth?
I think. Either Portsmouth or Southampton? I don't know which
I'm
one.
confused.
They're close, whatever.
Wherever the port is that the Cunard ships come out of. Because we have a few days, which we've not planned this yet. We have three more cruises before we head that way. But we still have some planning and logistics to do in there too.
Yeah, we talked to a lovely couple from Edinburgh, actually. So they were, like, telling us, oh, we just need to skip all this other stuff and just go straight to Scotland and just be done with it.
Yes, they were. and I think we definitely want to spend some time there. So we're going to figure it out. And then We do have a trip planned for Europe for next spring. So whatever we
Different
don't get
pieces
done
of
now.
Europe. Different pieces.
But it depends on how we come back.
Well, that's true. True.
See? This is why I plan most of the things. I plan until I get stuck.
Yeah.
And then you pick from a variety of options that I
Yes.
presented you with. So today we just got up, we went to Test Kitchen. We've been sleeping really
we
well.
went to Razzle Dazzle.
Oh, Razzle Dazzle.
We went to Test Kitchen last night.
Razzle Dazzle, which is Lucky Lotus on Scarlet Lady. Razzle Dazzle and other boats is probably going to change to
Something similar.
a particular kind of restaurant. So like the Brilliant Lady is coming out with Spanish tapas restaurant. I think it's called, is it called Ola or Ole?
Something. I can't remember.
But that boat ship isn't even out yet, so no one knows for sure except for what's been announced. What else have we done today? We just kind of we grabbed some tea, wander around,
and then we headed out to the beach.
And
the beach
so
club.
I watched a video. Imagine that, because I was like, like I said earlier, we're not huge beach people.
We're not like people that like to just lay in the sun and get cooked. So
Well, it's because we're pasty white and we're going to crisp up like bacon. So it's not that I hate the sun, but it just I need not to be out. This is as dark as I've been in decades.
yeah, it's funny. I actually have a line like where my
crazy.
watch has been. I haven't had that in like forever. So it's kind of fun.
And let's see. So we went there. We weren't sure what we were going to do. There's like a 15-minute little tram that we take from the cruise into the cruise port over there. And it was delightful. It was kind of like someone was sitting near us was like, I feel like I'm on the White Lotus.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt that way too, because there were like these day beds. There were lots of chairs with umbrellas.
Yeah.
So when we first got off the boat to the side, there was like in the sun, all these chairs and just a couple of little lightly shaded places.
Yeah.
And I kind of think I thought that's what it was going to be like, but it was all these different places with, what's the sail stuff that like you stretch across
It's
with?
like sailcloth.
So there's like places with sailcloth and big things like that. Yeah, good vitamin D. If I have not gotten any vitamin D by this point, my body can make
Actually,
it.
the last time we went to the doctor, I actually had normal vitamin D, which almost never happens. So something's working.
Yeah, I think it's helping.
Yeah.
But we also, there was a certain point I was like, okay, done with being in the sun.
But I'm also not a hobbit anymore, so that helps.
Yeah, you're going out walking more, and we went walking in all the places that we stopped. We had 2 sea days before this, and so we did cool things like we did drag bingo.
That was fun.
We listened to some performances. The hostess on here. So instead of having like
A cruise director.
yeah, that's it. There's a happenings cast on Virgin Voyages, and it's a new happenings cast, and they're amazing.
This was their first week, and they are doing so well.
It's
They are
really,
doing so
really
well.
good. They do like everything. And the hostess, Hannah, her voice is amazing.
Yeah.
So we listened to a cabaret with her yesterday.
And I think she's going to be one of those people we're going to be able to say we knew her when.
Yeah,
'cause
definitely.
She's definitely on her way.
And there were some performances that have just been great. And Vinegar Strokes.
We've been a little starstruck. The fact that I have been a little starstruck by the fact that Vinegar Strokes is on this cruise.
Club is
And
here.
Vinegar is one
Like-
of the UK RuPaul drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race UK, and so it's been like really awesome to be able to see her in person.
So we saw her show Lights, Camera, Drag. Awesome.
It's like her one-woman show kind of thing.
And then she did a cabaret where she sang as well. And
Also, another
amazing,
one that has a voice
amazing.
like crazy.
And I've been sending Cleb. So if you guys are going, why is someone saying hi, Meemaws? We've adopted Cleb. They are my grandbaby in my heart.
Yep.
And so we've been sending little clips of everything that we've been watching. And so Cheryl got really jealous because I was in line for some oatmeal.
I did.
And I got to meet Vinegar in regular.
Yeah. Daniel.
And he was very sweet. And I was pretty much like, so if you need 2 lesbian moms, come on over. We got you. Just let me know.
And then Cecil Washington.
Oh my gosh.
This guy's voice is just like amazing. He just like, I can't even explain it. He just like, when he opens his mouth and starts to sing, it's just like.
And Cloud, that's who
angels are singing
coming down
something.
from the ceiling. That part I said.
Yeah.
And we're going to be putting up some more clips. I've actually been relaxing.
She's actually been relaxing for her 60th birthday next week. No, not next week. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I'm getting closer and closer. What am I like? 99 100.
I don't know. Let's see how many hours.
99.7 100. But it's the 27th, so it's coming up soon.
Yeah.
Cleb, I just wanted to explain that in case someone thought you were making fun of us. I asked to be called Meemaw. And Hannah we did that to Hannah too, and Hannah said, Meemaws.
Oh,
and
it was so
like,
funny.
aw.
She was coming up the stairs and she was like, Meemaws.
So I'm spreading the South all
Yeah.
over the Caribbean.
Yeah.
We are having a really good time, and I wish all of you were here with us. But what's interesting is this also is the first time we've really gone to a lot of the entertainment. And when you hear it said a lot, like they're kind of like, well, Virgin Entertainment's okay. It's a little more quirky. It's a little more...
It's more artsy.
And I would say it's more artsy, and in a good way.
Yeah.
Not like in a high school play way, which is kind of what I've heard. And I felt like the dance moves, the songs, the singing has been exquisite. So we were on Celebrity Ascent, and there was one woman there who was just to die. Her voice was to die for.
Her voice was amazing.
But the guys were kind of...
Here's the thing I hate about cruise ship singers in general. On Celebrity and MSC, they have the same problem, and it made me crazy. Every time we went to a show, they do this very dramatic, looking at the crowds and all these like dramatic movements and just like
there's a job
staring
for you
off into
waiting.
the space like this, and just like these like moves. We're sitting down on the step and doing this.
Or there's this one too, the thinker.
Oh, and the thinker move. And I'm just like, I'm done with that. No, I do not want to see you doing your practice for your high school play.
Well, and see, for me, it was like, these are headshots. They're like going, please someone take my picture. And
take
give
my
me
picture.
Whereas,
longing to the crowd.
like, I was really moved by Ships That Pass in the Night. And I am picky about entertainment. But I like it to feel more like art, more like emotive. It reads more juvenile when you can't lock in on art. And I agree with that completely. And like, what we saw last night was
Dual reality.
Dual reality. And so always on the ships, from what I see, there's lots of acrobatics and different stuff like that. And it was fabulous. You didn't like it as much as I did.
I didn't like it as much because it was a little too deep for me. So that's all.
She says you should be on stage doing parodies.
If I thought I could get paid for it, I probably would do it. But
Nancy, how are you doing?
I just don't know if I can do it.
Right? So for anybody who's starting to hang out with us now, Bimini is over there. I gave us a little view. This is the ocean.
The ocean.
From our balcony room.
And it's so beautiful and blue here.
It's gorgeous. And you know what? So this is I know it's supposed to be really cold at home right now, so I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
it was like 78 degrees today, 79 tops. It's been
Yeah.
just gorgeous and felt like a vacation. And
It was actually a
Bimini-
little chilly at one point when we were sitting out by the water and the wind was blowing. I was like, I wish I would have brought a sweatshirt.
I just put my towel over my legs, mostly so I didn't turn into a lobster. But yeah, we're at port, so we're in Bimini, Bimini, Bahamas, and when you go on Virgin Club, as you will, we're trying to figure out a way that we're taking you with us at some point.
Trying to figure out a way that you can be our
I don't know,
camera person or something.
our cabana person. But we did explore already, so here it was more we went to the Bimini Beach Club, which Virgin hires out, so it's all private, and then they have food there, they have the internet there, drinks, you can still get sodas for free if you wanted to,
And
water.
we weren't sure what to expect. She had watched a video and kind of had an idea. But when we actually got there and saw it, because she was like, do you want to take your computer? And I'm like, I'm not taking my freaking $1,000s computer to the beach where there's sand. Like, are you crazy? But actually, there's some places that are way back from the sand that totally I could have just sat there and worked.
So what it reminded me of when I walked in there, it reminded me of this of a section of the all-inclusive resort we went to in Mexico a long time ago, and that it wasn't a check-in, but it was almost like this check-in could be a check-in room or something like that. And there were couches and tables, and someone had a computer plugged in.
Yeah, somebody was plugged in.
And then, of course, you could go towards the beach, and there are two pools. One is the party pool, where all the Happenings cast of the dance, and you do hear music.
But it's not so loud that it, like, you can't carry on conversation, or you can't. It's in the distance. You just kind of hear the bass a little bit in the distance.
It's a pick your own adventure is how I would do it. And I think the whole Virgin Voyage thing is. So what I find, there's some creators that are extroverts, and they talk about all the parties, all the things to do, all the places that are loud. And I'm like, ooh, maybe Virgin isn't for me. And I think other introverts do that too. But like even there, so the pools, it was kind of like a lagoon with a middle. So over on one side is where the Happenings cast was. There was a show.
And they had big pool floats, and everybody was on pool floats.
Like unicorn pool floats and all these cool things. And then while you could hear the music at the other one, it's not cranked up the same way. And then there's the lounge area, then you walk a little forward, and then there's food and drink. There were probably like 5 or 6 places you could get drinks of some sort, and there were water everywhere. Water is easy to get, where we didn't find that on MSC at all.
Right.
And then you come, and then there's different kinds of chairs with umbrellas and things, and then some rows all till you get close to the white beach. So it was really, really cool. Nancy's saying, is Virgin my favorite? And I think as of right now it is. I will tell you, I love Celebrity too.
It is. We like Celebrity.
Celebrity's a little more bougie.
It is a little more bougie, and it's kind of like when you walk in there, you feel like you've just like walked into like a fancy spa resort somewhere. They have art all over the place. And
like really nice art. Like who was it?
Shea Coulee. There was this picture at the end of the hall.
I mean, it was probably
and it was
5
this beautiful
by 6.
picture. It was this beautiful picture. And every time we walked past it, I would point to it and say, that's Shea Coulee.
And that's someone who was
like,
on RuPaul's Drag Race.
And Kathy's like, that's not Shea
Coulee.
Coulee.
The reason I thought that is because there was, it was an African woman with the rings and really big stretched ears. And I was like, I don't think that's Shea Coulee because she doesn't have stretched ears.
So after the full week of us going by and me always going, there's Shea Coulee, our room's over there. I was going up with with Elizabeth, and I said, "That's Shea." I said, every time we come past here, I say, "Oh, there's Shea Coulee," and Kathy's like, "That's not Shea Coulee," and she was like, "Who's Shea Coulee?" And I said, "Oh, let me show you who Shea Coulee is." And I pull up my phone and I pull up Shea Coulee, and the first picture that comes up is that picture of her on the cover of Vogue.
And we didn't know. So I was
no
like,
clue.
okay, it's Shea Coulee. You win. You win. Nancy says it's 46 degrees there now. And Cleb says, oh my gosh, I went from Jamaica to Chicago in the span of a week. And it's been so shell-shocking.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, and it's going to be interesting when I come back at the very end of April. Because like we're doing this cruise, we're switching to the next cruise. It's back to back on the same boat, a different room. And then we have a couple of days at your parents', a couple of days
at Disney
at the
And
Universal.
for Kathy's birthday, we got a preview ticket for
Epic Universe. So
we'll
that'll
get to
be
see
cool.
the new Harry Potter
and
stuff.
then we're going on a 3-day Disney cruise. And then I'm going to finish I'm going to be finishing a bunch of work during the year. But then I'm going to be busting it. We only have one cruise in May and one cruise in June, so I get to be like a real girl before we're gone for a long time.
Yeah.
And yes, let's figure out a date for next year.
That's awesome.
And one thing we could do for next year too, if you guys are interested, we could try and do a group cruise. I'm not willing to commit for this year.
No, this year be
because
too much.
but I feel like I'm learning a lot. So far, when I talk to a new travel agent to ask them some things or if there was a deal, what's really funny is they're like, "So you're a travel agent?" And I'm like, "No, I just watched a lot of videos."
She Googles a lot. She's good on the Google.
So and also Robin, who we use for our travel agent needs, she's done a lot of group cruises. So I feel comfortable working with her as well since she's done so many.
Yeah, and if that becomes like too hard, what we could do is just say, we're going to be on this ship on this date, and anybody wants to come along, come on, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can do
You
that
totally
now.
do that anytime.
Y'all can hop on to Miami tomorrow, and here we'll be. So this is our third Virgin cruise. We're having our fourth next week. And then for the one we're doing from the UK to Iceland in July, we will be deep blue extras.
Which means we get 2 coffees a day.
So,
and laundry twice.
well, I think a laundry once, but then we get pressing and
that's
dry
right.
cleaning.
Pressing and dry cleaning.
And we get priority
boarding.
Priority boarding, and we get like $100 bar tab that you can use on coffee. They've got great non-alcoholic cocktails. So that's when you have sailed 4 times, completed 4 sailings. And they say you have to complete that sailing for a few weeks. So like, if this was our 4th sailing, tomorrow we wouldn't necessarily get our Duke Blue Extras.
Right, because it takes time for it to go through the system.
But we like Virgin a lot. One of the things I like about it is that everyone seems pretty mellow.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that there are loud parties. We went to some
Oh, yeah.
Scarlet Night, and Cheryl's
Scarlet Night was just like, it was a party.
It was a big party. But here's the thing. We could go up and look a little bit and then go. We've actually gone to bed fairly early. So, Cleb, when you come with us, you'll have plenty of time out on your own to be young and free. And Elizabeth is here. Yeah, a huge portrait of Shay is so fun, right? And it's on this total bougie ship. Like, so, okay, 2 things about Celebrity that beat Virgin. The hallways are a little bit bigger in the rooms because they're always, when you're going down the lines of rooms.
Right.
You bounce on the carpet because there's so much cushion. That is both good and bad. It was really hard pulling a suitcase over that.
It was so hard to pull a suitcase over that.
But, so Cleb, text me. Why don't you drive down to Orlando?
We can't get them in.
Oh, we
It's
can't.
only season ticket holders.
Oh. Okay. Well,
If we could
let's
get
talk
if
June.
we could get them in, we could. We would.
June, we could.
He can probably get.
We're
in
going
June.
again in June, so let's talk. Oh, no, not Robin from the fam. Actually, this is Elizabeth's travel agent is who has been hooking us up with so many things. Though I do feel like with some things with Virgin, you tend to get more if you're using a top 10 agent or a top 100 agent. I'm just kind of learning about that. But what a lot of travel agents do in bigger companies like Robin's company, is they buy up like a block of rooms, like a group, and then they can sell it for less. So like, how can they sell it for less? They bought it the first day when it was the cheapest price it'll ever be. And then now, 6 months later, I'm looking at it and it's $2,000 more.
Sometimes more than that.
Right? And so we were able to get something like that too. So that's something else. Like with Virgin, you tend, with some places they may have these My Next Virgin Voyage that they can kind of transfer to you. Also, if you guys are wanting to do your first Virgin Voyage, I need to put this code up. I forgot to do it when I updated everything 2 days ago. But I have a code. If you've never gone, you would get 150 bar tab, and we would get 150 bar tab. I don't get anything else. And like I said, you don't have to use it on liquor. You can use it on coffee, tea,
non-alcoholic drinks.
There's been
smoothies.
Smoothies and juice. Those are as expensive, if not more, than cocktails, actually. But yeah, so just let me know. And you saw the pictures. Yeah, I think a group cruise would be really fun, and we could talk to people, because I know there's a couple of groups on this one, and I suspect we could do something like all sit together at Pink Agave. And Pink Agave is really easy to eat at as a vegan. They do have guacamole. We could request steamed tortillas instead of the chips, but there's like 2 of the taco shells cut in half. That's what you get. It's not like the $10,000.
It's not like
calories.
It's not like what you get when you go to a typical Mexican restaurant, where they set down the big giant bowl of chips and guacamole. It's just a couple bites.
Yeah. And then they have shallot, squash, and carrots. And then there's this lovely stuffed poblano with potato. And it's so good. It's so good. We went to all 3 menus at the test kitchen, and I have to put up shorts about that.
Yeah, I'm editing right now. I'm editing menu B, which we had never had before, and it was so good. I think menu B might be my favorite, actually.
Club says, I need more than 2 coffees a day. You can drink all the coffee and tea you can hold from the galley, which is their equivalent of the buffet, but it's more of like a food court.
And you can get free sodas and things too.
Yeah. Do all cruises have smoking? Yes. But I think it matters where the smoking is. So on Celebrity, we were affected by the smoking once because we chose to sit not knowing we're sitting next to the smoking. So that's on us. Here, we
ran into the smoking section once.
And that's when we were literally walking the ship to see everything. So it was pretty easy.
And it wasn't like completely full of people or anything like that. I think it was like 2 people from the staff actually were out there when we were out there.
But we were out there fairly late too, but you can find out where that area is and usually avoid it pretty well.
Unless you're on MSC.
MSC, I felt like we smelled smoke everywhere.
Yeah. It felt like they had the smoking area outside of this one really like chill bar.
The only chill place.
The only chill
door.
place in the whole place, and they've got the smoking area on the back side of that, and then it kind of butts up to where the casino is. And so I felt like every time you walked through that whole way towards the casino, like that whole hallway there always smelled like smoke really bad. And you don't get that here. You don't smell smoke anywhere in the ship at all.
And there's no smoking in the casino. There's just this Now, I have heard if you get one of the fancy suites that's on the backside with the big balconies, that sometimes you can smell the smoke there. I've not experienced that. Like this one, for this trip, because we were trying to get the deep blue extras, I actually did a lock it in insider for this, and we bid up and we got a balcony. And we did a lock it in sea view, which is a window, and we got bid up to a balcony. This one, as you can see here, it's a beautiful view. But there is deck right there.
Yeah.
And sometimes people.
And they put sun chairs out here when it's
During
not
the-
a sea day.
oh,
When it's a sea day,
Yeah.
this is all full of like lounger chairs, and people lay out there in the sun, so they're like right there, and you can hear them talking.
You can hear them talking a little bit. Most of the time, I will say, when you're not around the pool, people are just kind of relaxing and sleep. A lot of
Yeah.
people just fall, like
People
they're
fall asleep everywhere. Like when we
Even
walked into
to
the beach
Bimini.
to the beach resort
like
today,
the lounge area.
in the
that
lounge
we're-
area that's covered, you know.
And there's
that where
this long, nice couch with tables. One lady's like snoozed out on half of it. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, you had a big night. Let's see. What Club says once I'll figure out my car situation.
I'm sorry that you're still dealing with that, Club.
I hope they just have they settled anything yet? He got a lemon, so he's
He got
trying
a
to go
big
through
old
the
lemon.
lemon laws, and it's just dragging
Yeah.
on and on and on. Lisa says, have you booked any future cruises while on the ship? And the answer to that is no.
Not this time.
I do have two My Next Virgin Voyages things that you buy. So a lot of times on different ships, they do it differently. Here, you put down $150. And in 2 years, you need to use this. And it depends on the length of your trip. So I will get that $150 off. And then anywhere from an additional $150 to $250 off, plus a $150 to $250 sailor loot. Sailor loot on Virgin is different than bar tab. You can use it for bar tab, but
But
like
it can be used anywhere on
you
the
could
ship.
buy a shirt, you could buy a hat, you could buy
You can get a tattoo.
you could get a tattoo. Okay. Club says it's almost done. Excellent.
Excellent.
Okay, excellent. Marilyn, it's good to see you. But we do have future cruises. So next month we're going to Alaska on the Holland American with two of our whole food plant-based friends. So
Plant Pure Pod friends from
Yeah.
the Plant Pure Pod in Chapel Hill.
Wayne and Jill. And so hopefully we'll be able to go live. If not, we'll at least be able to record a lot of the things together. They're pretty funny. You guys
They're
are going to
fun.
like them.
You guys are going to like them a lot.
But we're pretty much just flying there, doing that, and coming home. We're staying a day or two in Seattle, I think.
In the beginning, we're staying like 2 days, and we're actually meeting up with some folks that we met on the Holistic Holiday that live in Seattle that are going to give us some tourist type tours. So we're looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and we didn't really do any research about Alaska. Alaska sounds fun, and it does. We're just kind of like living large. They've cruised a lot, so there were a few things they wanted to see, and we're like, sure. One of the excursions we're doing is like a haunted
It's
tour.
a ghost tour. It's like a ghost tour of this town that
So-
supposedly has a Russian princess that haunts the town.
Ooh.
So that should be fun.
Um,
And then we're going to do the other one is a tour where we get to go where they have the big totem poles and stuff. So I'm excited about that.
I like that. I like that a lot. Then in June we have 2 days at Epic Universe, and then we're going to Port Canaveral, and we're going to get on the Norwegian Aqua, which is a brand new ship that you may have heard some things about.
It just launched this month,
Yeah.
and there were some issues. So some people got lucky and got a 10-day cruise instead of a 7-day cruise.
Yes.
But
And some people were like, I got stuff to do.
some people were like, I can't extend my time like that.
It was a
so-
transatlantic cruise. It's unfortunate for them that the weather, there were real weather crossing issues that they knew about in advance. So they're like, look, we were supposed to go to Boston. Now we're going to New York, and it's going to take us 3 days more. but unfortunately they didn't tell anyone until after they checked in their luggage, and so
everybody was sitting around for a few hours before
Like
they said
5
anything to
hours.
people. So that was not cool.
Oh, are we going
Yeah,
to Sitka?
Sitka. That's where it is.
Okay.
That's where we're going.
Okay, cool. We've made so many plans that a lot of times I research right before we're going. Like last night I watched about the Bimini Beach Club because I knew we were going to go.
Yeah.
And then in June, what did we decide we're doing on that cruise? It's like Puerto Plata, St. Thomas. No, not St. Thomas. British Virgin Islands. Because I was kind of thinking
Tortola.
I was thinking a little bit like maybe I don't like the Caribbean that much, and this trip has definitely changed my mind. But this is also, again, the first time we weren't mainly going
To Nassau.
Nassau, I think, is not my favorite.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there are other places we could go or excursions. Elizabeth says we have not hit up the casino at all. We've walked through it.
No, we just all I have is flashbacks of sitting there not being able to win, and so I haven't tried it yet. And it's weird thing about the casino here is, you know how loud the casino is on the Celebrity ship, where all you hear is ding 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 ding. It's very quiet. They're very the volume's turned down very low on the machines here, and it's very interesting.
But yeah, we've lined up to get into like drag bingo and stuff like that.
And which lines up in
through the casino.
through the casino.
And you think, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get a seat, and there's plenty of room.
Yeah.
Just everyone gets a little nervous.
Yeah.
Elizabeth's saying, how much did it cost to bid up? So like this room.
It just depends.
It's
not ever the same. You never know what it's going to be.
And it really is. So like they have a slider, and it's a third party thing. So if you're on your computer, you can hit your right arrow key and it'll give you the very lowest number you can bid, which I do sometimes. I knew we were going to be in an insider, but like I think we got this 8-day cruise for just shy of $2,000, which is why I was like, we'll do a lock it in. If we get an inside room, we'll just talk about how it is. We both have earbuds for sleeping because I was nervous about that one. I think we bid like $760, $780.
Yeah, $780 or something like
So
that.
we
So
bid
a little
a
less
lot.
than $100 a day.
And this room was, I think this is Central Sea Terrace.
So this is the most
It probably would have
expensive
been
sea terrace.
$5,000, $4,000, maybe $4,000.
4 to 5, yeah. So we saved probably at least $1,500.
Yeah, and we bid higher than I normally would because she was getting nervous, and I wanted to make sure that worked out.
I just didn't want to be like right outside the Manor or someplace like that,
like the
nightclub, because it goes to like 2 a.m. and stuff. So,
and then we got a sea view for the other one, and some of the sea views are under the Manor. So I did bid up more, but I think, what did I do? 300?
I don't even think it was 300 at 280 or something.
Oh no, we had Lock It In Sea Terrace, not Sea View for this one.
That's right.
And I was putting up a little more for the Central Sea Terrace to see if we could stay in this room and not have to move. But I think someone had already booked it, so we're going from the 8th floor to the 12th floor.
Mm-hmm. Which is actually going to be nice because we'll be in a much more quiet location up on the 12th floor.
And so it'll be good. And this will be the first time we've done this whole swap over. And so we have to pack all our stuff up. We then will take our backpacks with, our medicines
and stuff
or whatever.
like that.
And we just meet in a little, at the cocktail lounge. Then they take us out. We go through customs, come back on, and the staff moves our luggage to the new room. Mm-hmm. And then we're here before anybody's on the boat. So they say usually you leave around 10:30 and you're back by 11 or 11:30. So
I'm hoping that me and my 360 camera can have some fun while there's nobody on the boat.
It'll be a lot easier for her to do things like the
restaurants,
just things that, we try not to get people living their best lives, right, on camera. But yeah, Alaska is going to be super fun.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Oh, so you're going to have to give us tips too about things that we should be looking for.
Yeah.
And maybe we will, because you have her email address.
I do.
So maybe what we can do too is if there's any other excursion, maybe we'll ask you because we're just kind of guessing, really. Yeah. So bidding up could be, so like for this one that I bid, that I'm whining about paying like whatever, $300 or whatever I am for the other one, we also were able to bid for suites then. Usually, so like if it's an insider, you can bid for a sea view or like a limited view balcony or a regular balcony. And this was the regular balcony, but we just happened to get a central, which costs a little bit more.
Yeah.
Joanne!
Hey, Joanne.
We are in Bimini.
We are.
Hanging out on our balcony.
We always wave when we go past your exit, and I'm sorry we haven't had time to stop yet, but it's just been like rush, rush, rush whenever we're going through there.
It's been a crazy year, but maybe in June, because May we won't be going through it all.
Yeah, June definitely might be easy. We can maybe do an overnight over in that area.
That would be cool. But the bidding can be anything. Like so we've talked about there's central sea terraces. Then there are the suites. And there's this whole level of suites they're called rock stars. You get like bands, different, we have red bands, you get a different color band. And then this is the little thing. See, can you see it? Make a splash. They all say different things usually, but we both got make it splash this time. And they have black bands, and they have access to a special area called Richard's Rooftop, and they get special privileges, but also it usually costs
several thousand.
Minimum $3,000 to $5,000 more than a balcony would. And then there's the mega rock stars. And so like in all cruises, they have the different things, right? So mega rock stars are like owner's suite kind of things. And like in all the suites, they have like marble in the bathrooms and like some of the
fully stocked
bars, record players, the big megastar ones that even have guitars that you can play. You can have you have a little dining table, you can have everything brought in. So depending if you had a regular sea terrace, central sea terrace, or extra large sea terrace, that will be available for you to bid as well. So does that make sense, Elizabeth? One of the things too from talking to Elizabeth is they have more single cabins. So you can do it as a single sailor. They have single insiders, single ocean views. And
they call them solo sailors.
That's right, solo
because there's solo sailors and then there's single sailors. They're different.
Are they? Oh, tell me.
The solo sailors probably get a solo room. However, they have different get-togethers. They have a single sailor get-together, and then they have a solo sailor get-together.
They just have the solo sailor get-together.
I thought they had a single sailor one, too.
It's all one thing.
I thought in one of the groups they were talking about a separate one.
I don't think so. So I will
double check.
So I do think what you were saying is kind of true. So they have some rooms that have like a twin bed or the equivalent of.
Yeah.
And they're very small rooms. So there's either one without a window and one with a window. The ones with a window, a lot of them are on floor 5, I think, near Sailor Services. There's like 2 or 3 that are in the front of the boat that I think would be kind of cool. But there's also some regular ocean views there as well.
Yeah.
Now you can still, as a single or solo person, have a balcony. It's just going to not be that much cheaper, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It is cool how they do the solo sailor stuff, though. They have a get-together, and when they get together, like they'll have like some reservations booked, and people can go have dinner together and things like that and get to know each other. And we've noticed on this cruise in particular that the solo sailors are all like doing stuff together all the time.
It's true. Even breakfast. We sat next to 2 solo sailors, and I was doing some work in the the champagne lounge, which wasn't there. So it's a beautiful space. So I was doing some work, and everybody met up, and like they went over the daily agenda. People could find people to do other things with. They have reservations where people can go and eat together. So it was pretty cool. I had no idea.
Yeah, no, it's really nice, like the things that they do for that.
Yeah. So those are all different things too. So like if you're like, oh, I don't really want to go on a cruise because it's just me.
Yeah, this is the cruise to go if it's just you.
Because Elizabeth often sails by herself, but Club says recording the Solar Sailor experience would be so fun. Yes, it would. So get your booty up here and let's do it. But part of me is there's one sailing I would be interested in doing as a solo sailor, but I think Cheryl would be too sad. One of the Canadian ones.
Oh, I don't care. You can do that. If you want to go solo, you can do that.
I was thinking I might drop you off at ECAM,
Oh.
and then you can come pick me up in Quebec.
Yeah.
What?
Whatever.
I think doesn't that sound like
it
a
doesn't
great
sound
idea?
fair. It doesn't sound fair.
Then you get to be in Quebec. Hey, Stacy, it's good to see you here. So, what else? What do you guys want to?
So, it's more like solos looking for friends.
Yes.
There are some single sailors, but most of the time it's solo sailors looking for friends. And there's a lot more solo sailors than I would have expected.
And the ages vary.
Vary.
So people my age, people in their 60s, I think, and I've seen people in their early 20s and everything in between. So some people are, I think we saw some women who were probably in their mid-30s. They were sailing just to do a treat for themselves. It's kind of interesting because a long time ago, I think I would have loved to do this in my 30s, but I was a little, I wouldn't have known about it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Send Cheryl to camp.
So unfair.
And I go on a
So
cruise
unfair.
and work really hard.
That's so unfair.
You know you love camp.
I do love camp, but I still think it's not fair.
See, this is why I didn't talk. And just a moment ago, she's like, you can go if you want to. And you see how far that gets.
Well, I thought I was staying at home taking care of kitties.
Oh, is that what you'd rather do?
Yes.
Instead of camp?
Well, I don't want to go camp by myself.
You would be at camp by yourself for like 2 seconds. You have to understand, we have a lot of friends that also go to ECAM camp. But I think the whole solo sailor experience was pretty interesting. Our friend Alan, who does travel, he's a travel agent in Ireland.
Yeah, we're hoping to have him on some point when he gets home.
He's adorable.
Yes, I love him.
He's really adorable and fun. And he was saying that the rooms are tiny, tiny. See? See? That's why I have a grandbaby.
Okay.
And yeah, and this exact, so what that's too, is she's like, but I don't want to be there all alone. Literally all of our friends will be there. All of our video friends.
Stop calling me out.
Like,
Kim.
you've been at camp in your own group both years.
It's true.
I see a free cruise in your future. No, I'm kidding. They know the way to my heart.
Oh, that's just...
Cheryl likes to play I'm really shy and uncomfortable, but then if you talk to her for 5 minutes. Tia says, I've seen where some people actually live full-time on cruise ships, not the crew, and I know what you're talking about. If you run across any full-time people, I think that would be a different cruise line, although Elizabeth isn't the one guy on Royal Caribbean that lives there full-time, so he's been in the news a lot because he has sea legs but not land legs, so he's been on sea so long he feels icky.
He can't walk good on land anymore.
Which seems weird to me, but we'll see how I feel after 14 days on the ship, right?
Yeah.
there are some ships that people like buy out like it's a condo. And I've been hearing mixed things about some of those. Some of those haven't sailed at all and people sold their houses. Plus, I have to be at camp working. Super Mario, yes, that's his name. On if you want to look him up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think if you get up in levels, so like right now, Virgin's going to be changing some of this, and Elizabeth has a higher level on Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, but she didn't get the highest level on Virgin because they changed it, I think. And yeah, Vila V is the one people buy. So sometimes they'll match statuses. So like things, Elizabeth gets like a happy hour where she gets free drinks. She gets all the free coffees she wants. She gets them at Celebrity. She got invited to all these cool things. She took me to 2 of them. Don't tell anyone. I pretended to be her husband. But like here, Virgin is a new-ish cruise line. I think they didn't start till 2021.
2020 or 2021?
Or 22, maybe somewhere around in there. And so they had things with like different things that I don't even know now. And so they keep getting grandfathered into the next thing. So like right now it's on your 3rd sailing, when there's some time in between, you get this blue extras, which you get a coffee or tea in the specialty coffee shop, a bag of laundry. We got a cocktail. You get a cocktail party, which usually has sangria and champagne.
But you can also get non-alcoholic drinks too there.
Oh yeah, you totally can ask for non-alcoholic drinks.
They gave me a fancy non-alcoholic champagne. I don't think I told you that.
No! Oh, I would have loved to try that. Okay, and Stacy says, came on late, which cruise lines do solo? So I've seen someone do a tour of Norwegian solo cabins, and Virgin has solo cabins for sure. I don't know if the new MSC does or not. Elizabeth might know. And then Elizabeth's saying it's more expensive to cruise solo and Royal and Celebrity. It's cheaper to put my husband's name on and have him not show up compared to booking solo. So what happens a lot of times...
That says a lot.
Right? And that's why I even mentioned this, because sometimes it could take a $700 to $1,000 off. Whereas usually you're just paying for the whole room if there's 2 of you or 1 of you, and you're just not paying port taxes for the other person. And so that's kind of wacky. Oh, that's right. MSC was less money solo, but you added your dad. And wasn't it only like $89 or something to add him? It was kind of crazy. I'm curious about some of the solo cabins, for sure, especially Norwegian. So if we meet someone...
maybe we'll ask them if they can show us their cabin.
Yeah, because I know they're going to be smaller, but that's the thing. You're not really spending as much time in your cabin, supposedly, if you're a solo sailor. Whereas,
hey, we just met you, but can we see your cabin?
That's not creepy at all, is it, y'all? We'd be like, we'll be your Meemaws. Right? That'll get us in.
I don't know.
That's funny. At least we don't look super creepy. You have to pay port fees and taxes and then get refunded after the cruise. Ooh, I didn't know that. That's not nice.
Yeah, so solo on here is definitely
cheaper.
A more financial benefit.
And Elizabeth, I can't wait for you to come on here. I think you're going to love it. We're not sure if it's for your whole family. And we'll talk about that more. But I think you would love the entertainment. You would love the food. And just the vibe is super chill. I mean, now I will say this, and you guys are going to go on a 4-night cruise, and you're going to be like, you are dirty, dirty liars. So, like, the shorter cruises tend to be higher energy.
Just like they are in any cruise line, because you got your weekend people that are just like, woo, I got 3 days to party, kind of thing.
It doesn't mean you can't get away from it, though. I did find the first one we went on, the music was loud kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
But the second 4-day we went on
Was a little better.
It was not the case, and I did actually.
You found some spots.
I complained about it, honestly. And they were like, what would you do differently? And I was like, I would have it in restaurants where you could speak. I know you want to give an exciting vibe, but that's not helpful.
We would like to hear each other talk.
And I will say, in this 8-day cruise,
it's amazing.
It's super mellow. Like, there's one place that's kind of like a soda shop, game area with lots of stuff.
Social club.
And it definitely is louder there, but like you just go to the other side, you're in the dock, it's mellower music.
Yeah, you can actually move from space to space and everything just changes to a different vibe as you move through.
And if you didn't get to see that, we did on the last slide, we went through level 7, and that kind of gave you what we were talking about. You really get a good idea of that.
Yeah.
Hey, Gigi! I hope you are having the very best day.
Yes.
And hi, Jessica. It is fun.
Yeah.
Like this
is the first cruise that I think we've both just like completely just
relaxed.
Actually, like vacationed.
And kind of understood.
Even more than we did on Celebrity.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not that we haven't had a good time. It's good for me. I'm definitely a gatherer of information, and I've got some articles to write, because I think if you haven't been cruising before, there are a few things that could be really helpful to know. Like even with Virgin, to know kind of, are you looking for quieter spaces? Are you really needing to let it out, have a party? Do you want to do a little of both? Where are the spots you could go? Like I've been going to the dock outside and watching the aft of the boat in the morning and working, or reading my email or spacing out, and it's just been quiet and nice.
Yeah.
Whereas
you go out, wander off for coffee, and then I like stay here and go through my email, get a little work done, take a shower, chill out.
Yeah.
It's been way more laid back kind of vibe this time, which actually makes it easier for us to work because we're like...
Yeah, I think, I saw that too, Elizabeth. A bunch of CDC cruise ship inspectors were laid off, the ones who check for norovirus and E. coli, and I know, and that's
sad.
It's not only sad, it doesn't make any sense why they got laid off, because they're paid by the cruise ships, not by U.S. taxpayers.
Right.
So I try to stay off the political thing. It seems like a flex more than an actual solution to anything. So we'll see what happens. I also heard that taxes may be going up on cruise ships too. So I don't know how that, I know nothing else.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Ouch.
Oh, ugh. There's a chair back there. Jessica says, I've not cruised Virgin before. It seems very relaxing. I've done Carnival, Disney, and NLC. Now I have a baby, so I don't think I'll be on Virgin for a while. It is adults only. And not adults only in like, it's adults only. It's adults only in that you have to be 18 or over.
Thank you.
To sail. That's all. And so what it does is it keeps down on kids running around or being crazy and stuff. And it's not that that's not okay, but it's also nice to not have to contain yourself in an adults only area on a ship if you're really kind of wanting that. Ooh, I was hearing about this. Carnival now has a surprisingly tasty vegan menu. And I think we're going to end up having to go on Carnival. But maybe what we need to do is do some research. If you guys know of some Carnival sailings that you thought were a little more mellow, I'm thinking that's not the 3-day cruise we want to take. We took a 3-day MSC cruise, and it was not the cruise we wanted to take either.
No. It kind of was, because we just stayed in this. It was just like sauna time. That's
we
all.
paid to have the spa, so we actually stayed inside of this dark room underneath the boat for I don't know, 75% of our time.
They have a beautiful spa, though.
They do, and
they have one of the best, I think, anywhere.
I don't know. I've seen some good things about others. It'll be interesting to see about Holland and Norwegian. We'll have to at least do a day pass in there.
Yeah, check them out.
And then we're going to be on the Cunard.
And the one here's not bad either. I mean,
well, one good thing with Virgin is that if you don't have any status at all, you can get a splash of romance. You can get it for you and a friend, you and a partner.
It's $250 for the whole cabin. It's for both people in the cabin, and it gets you
priority boarding along with the Deep Blue Extra people. It gets you each person gets a 2-hour pass for the spa, and the spa being where the hot tubs, the steam rooms, the saunas are. It gets you a shake for champagne. They have a phone app that you use, and you shake it.
Shake it, and it turns all bubbly.
And then they come and find you and give you a bottle of Moet. You also get fresh juices that you have to pick up at the pool bar every morning. So there's a small window for that. And some nibbles that aren't vegan. You get 2 nibbles that aren't vegan, and we just gave them away to someone. But for $250, you get more than $250's worth of stuff. And Elizabeth says, I was in the spa, MSC spa on day 2 from 8 to 5. Left for a quick lunch, then came right back, right? I don't know, did we?
I haven't booked a lot for that cruise yet.
We'll have to look. I don't think I have the app on my phone yet. That's Cheryl's job.
That's
my job is researching and booking the cruises. And so those are the 2 next cruises that we have. And then we have 3 cruises in the summer that's all, like, we're taking the Cunard across the Atlantic. We're taking Virgin to Iceland. We're not sure how we're getting back. And then from England to the Norwegian fjords. And on that ship, we come back to England, and then we stay on and come back. So we do have 1 more booked for December. We're looking at possibly 1 for October and November. The one in December we're going on is the Excel, the brand new celebrity ship. And then we have some booked for next year. Cheryl's like, let's don't cluster things together. And I'm like, you just clustered.
And then I went and messed it all up.
Right, the fresh juices. And I will say, they're even while they're slow pressed or cold pressed, they still come out of something. They're not being cold pressed in front of you. So it's kind of expensive. But it is nice. And actually for right now, for the, is it 11 days or 12 days that we're doing the Iceland trip, I got Splash of Romance because juice costs at least $7 to $9 for a small glass. So for $250 to have the spa, and if we went on a sea day, it's usually like $80 a person. So that's $160. Then we'd have $100 worth of champagne. So we're already got $10. And then if we had $20 worth of juice for that many days, that's why I was like,
Go ahead and get it.
We do not know where we're going to go in England yet. I am still planning that. So we're going to be leaving Iceland. I think we have about 4 or 5 days before we take that trip. So we're going to do something.
When we get to England from New York, we have like 6 days, and we're going to the Warner Brothers Harry Potter stuff and doing vegan tea there. And then we'll probably stay somewhere around there. And then from there, we got to figure out what we're going to do for the other 4 days or so. And we were even talking to our new friends about maybe taking a train and going somewhere. They said it's really easy to travel on the train. They were telling us that we should just fly to Scotland, to Edinburgh. He said would probably be less than $100 for both of us.
So we're going to look into that. We have some time open. And then we have to, So the Cursed Child, we're going to look into seeing that because we are going to New York to take the Cunard over to the UK. So we have looked at that. It's a full day thing. Yeah, I know you saw it in the UK. So we were thinking of maybe seeing it. We could look at it both places though and see what's the best.
Yeah.
And Stacy says, I missed. How come you guys are cruising so much this year? 2 reasons. One, we have a brand new channel, the Plant-Based Explorers. And so that's on YouTube. And actually, let me see if I can bring it up and give you a link. Did you like my little song? Cheryl tells me I sing all the time.
Stuff, and then she also does this thing where she sings. She sings. She doesn't really sing. She hums these random things that makes my tism go crazy because I automatically go, what's she saying? Trying to figure out what she's humming, right? So she's doing it because she's concentrating on something, and then and then it's distracting me. So.
Oh, I would see it in the UK if you can. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Linda, I hope you're feeling good, and I hope you have the very best day. I hope this brought a little sunshine into your snowy time. So, Stacy, that's one of the reasons. So I put it in the comments. So if you guys aren't already following us over at the Plant-Based Explorers, please do. It's a baby channel, but we're putting up lots of neat content over there. The other reason is I turned 60 this month, and so I decided either this will be the best 60th birthday anyone has ever had, or we will make a profit by this year. And by profit, I mean like $1. So, I'm hoping by the time if not before, by the time we're going over on the Cunard, I'll be making a blog too and doing a lot of written content as well.
Yeah, right now, my goal was to try to get something up once a week. For that, she wants me to do twice a week. I'm trying.
One big one vertical.
Yeah. So, but I have been really excited and having a lot of fun looking at all the footage that we have and everything. So I'm kind of excited to just crank out a bunch of stuff next week.
You spent your whole work day, it was almost 6-7 hours, just taking all the footage she had done for 4 days and trying to put it in piles. So
just because the way I put it into the program I use, I need to make sure I label what they are. Otherwise, they all just look like numbers instead of what it is. So I have to go in and look at everyone and put what it is, which group it goes with, so that when I pull them all over to edit them, it's much easier than trying to figure out which one's which again. So got to do some extra work on the front end, but then that makes the back end go a little faster. So.
We need to get Cleb to talk to some people to make some AI that can bucket that out. They probably already know. Tell us the secret. A profit is a profit, exactly. And so one of the things too is when we were starting to look at this cruise, I found there wasn't a lot of content about eating vegan on cruises, and then even with some other traveling we've done and will do, we're not only going to be a cruise channel.
Yeah, we're going to go all over the place.
Yeah, but for right now, I want trains. Our friend Dawn says she loves trains and wants to do a train trip, that could work. And trains are great because you can bring your own food.
We actually took the train from Orlando to Miami to get on this cruise, and it was really awesome.
And we need to put that footage up. We actually took footage of the whole time going, but Cheryl was really nervous because it was her very first train trip. And so she kept waiting for it to come off the tracks or something. She was waiting
nervous. Every time it bumped or something, I went,
no, it was bad. It was bad. I'm like, if this is not an action adventure movie, we are not blowing up. Everything is fine. And the first time I took a long train was from New York to New Orleans. It was an overnight. And I was like, here we go. But it's funny what I'm easygoing about versus what you're easygoing about. Because at some point in the day, neither one of us is easigoing, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we take turns taking care of each other.
A little bit, yeah. It's kind of like that.
You were having trouble. You had real worries about today and going to Bimini.
I did. I was. I don't know why. I was just like, I don't know.
Clem says, I'll meet you on the other side of the train trip. The Bright Line's really good, but cross-country train is not for me. Oh, I did not know you were in a train wreck.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry. I was thinking it'd be cool to do a cross-country one because they have some that you really get to, like their observer cards, and you get to see all this beautiful nature.
That means the whole top is glass, so what if that thing rolls? I don't know. I don't know.
And see, I've been at a point, like, I'm better at planes now. There was a time I had to take a pill every time I got on a plane. And I would be, yeah, do you want to see if that's us?
Yeah.
In case they need to tell us how to move. We think it was our doorbell. But, like, I would have to knit. This was before the Twin Towers, so I would knit the whole time along a flight.
So how do we do that?
Then
because
now I've gotten better
that's
with
why,
it. So
we'll just move
do you
it to the
guys
other room?
Yeah.
yeah, the
And then
cross-country
you guys will
trains
take it
are like a
back to-
48-hour train
I will
ride.
coordinate that one
And I think
because,
that would be cool.
Because you're
So
this one back-to-back, right?
I
So
would
will,
just work.
confirm with my desk manager. Because
That's what I'm
otherwise,
gonna.
if I
We're
will,
spending
this
7
one
days
leave
going
there
from
down,
New York to the
same things, I
UK
need to go
on
to
not
Barbados
like
next
a
vacation.
bougie
You wanna
boat
just
like
check and then
Celebrity
let me know?
Yeah,
or
okay.
a super
Okay.
fun boat like
We'll just
Virgin.
leave it like this, so if you need to grab it
But
back, you can.
our travel
And
agent
then
was like,
you saw
it's
that
a
they
really
posted a
boring
different
boat.
room number?
Yeah.
And as I've watched videos, like
going to
Cheryl
12th
and I are
floor.
like, I'm like,
Yeah,
this
so
is like
we
we're
just,
in our
this
own
one,
Acorn
bring your
TV
things
show
here. Once you're,
traveling in
this
this
one,
beautiful
your
old
luggage is
ship,
Okay.
and they have vegan
And then after it's
food.
ready, we will,
And
bring
we
the
can have the
Okay,
internet,
cool.
we can
Thank
work,
you.
Need anything for tonight?
and I think
we're
it'll
good.
be really
a
good.
good
And I
day.
kind of see
Thank
train
you.
travel like that. It's just, if
Got it.
I'm driving in the car, I can't do that. If Cheryl's driving in the car, sometimes I work a whole 8 or 10 hours when we drive from North Carolina to Florida.
Sorry if you guys
Oh,
had
you
to
can hear
all-
Cheryl.
Sorry you guys had to hear all that.
Oh, what was,
They brought us our rum.
they weren't supposed to bring that to us.
And I said, I told her, I said,
So some of you may be getting rum as presents.
so
Here, you,
so you guys probably heard that. So we thought that they would keep that down in the bowels of the ship until we were ready to leave next week. But she brought it here. And so
well, here's the thing.
I don't want to pay customs twice on that. So she's going to check with her manager and find out what they're supposed to do.
Okay.
Otherwise, when we go out, we have to declare it, and then we bring it back on the ship.
No. What we'll do is we'll put it in the suitcases they're going to move upstairs. We're not going to put that in our backpack.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do. If unless she wants to take it back, that's fine. We are probably the only people on the boat who are not going to drink that rum. In fact, we had a rum tasting, and in my water cup, I put the rum, and it's been in the fridge for 5 days. We might have some of it. I might make dark and stormies tonight or something. But like, so we've got some rums for people who are, put it in your check bag. She's coming. Yeah,
This time I'll leave it there.
Here's Cheryl's mic. That's what I was going to say. Because, like, what's happening... So, next year, we're doing a back-to-back on Virgin. And what we're doing is we booked it and we bought grown-up balcony rooms. So, we just booked the same room twice. This was a strange idea in my own head about let's go ahead and get those four cruises out of the way so we are deep blue extras. So I wanted to do it in the least expensive way possible. And what's funny is this 8-day cruise for inside was pretty cheap. What was the deal?
She took it back.
Okay.
And then we'll get it next week.
Exactly. And you gave her the new room number?
She knows it.
She knows. Okay.
She said they'll change the number on the thing.
Okay, come on in. Yeah, okay, so that's solved. But we have we did go to a rum tasting in Puerto Plata, a rum and chocolate. And actually, I've got a giant bottle of vanilla. I got cocoa.
She got this bottle of vanilla that's so big that if she'd have bought it in the States, it would probably cost over $100.
Here.
And it was like, what, $20? It's crazy.
I think it might have
big.
been less than that.
Giant. It's the biggest thing of vanilla I've ever seen. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I was talking about putting that liquor in. Yeah, see, I just... if I would have taken it, we would have had to pay... I know she was like, just hide it in the luggage, but I just, you know me, I want to do the right thing and say, yes, I have liquor and declare it. And we're not declaring this, though.
32 ounces of vanilla.
What was it, $20 or no?
$12.
For like the equivalent of $100 in
or more.
At our place.
Yes, I've not opened it or tried it yet. They had black extract and clear extract, and they said the black one had more vanilla goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was excited about that. We're driving, so all we have to do is get everything on the train, the Bright Line. That's our, but they didn't actually care how much luggage we had.
They really didn't.
If you heard them, or if you're like us, here, please come in.
I was stepping the wrong way. I was trying to.
Okay. If you read it, it reads like the airline things. So we're like, ooh, we got to make sure everything's right. They didn't care. They didn't care at all. They're like, you can't check your bag. And we're like, oh my God, what does that mean? They're like, just bring it on.
He was like, yeah, just roll it into the thing.
And
just
we're like,
we're
what? Because you say we can only have 2 carry-ons and 2 personal
and they're
items.
like, yeah, just take it with you.
Yeah.
Like,
and Jeremy, it's good to know you're here. We think you and Helene would love this.
yes.
And there's pickleball upstairs. You can play pickleball every day. And Summer says, I would love the vanilla, but not the rum. We have people taking care of our cats and house sitting and things, so we got
would love to have
we got
rum.
some chocolate and rum gifts
Yes.
to bring back. We were on the rum tour with our friend Alan, our new friend Alan. So we would take a sip and we'd give him the rest. He's young, he wanted it.
You're like, here.
And so Club says it sounds like booking inside and bidding your way to a balcony is the way to go if you don't mind some noise. And that is exactly right. So if you know you would be unhappy with like people down below there, like that's a little deck, you need to pick your room. If you know you don't want to be underneath the gym,
or above the manor, or above the red room.
But the red room ends at 11.
Yeah,
so I think we could even do, we were nervous about that the first trip we took, and it didn't bother us.
We were very close to where the upstairs like door for the staff of the red room where they do the lighting and things where they go in up on the track. And you could hear it really loudly when there was a show going on, but you could only hear it if you walked right past that door, or like maybe a room there in front of it.
There were a couple of insider rooms that we walked by and we could hear it very loudly in the hall. So I think those rooms would have been hard. So,
but it was just like those couple rooms right there. There's like maybe 2 or 3 rooms that were impacted
and I mean,
by that.
but we didn't get to see all of them. But those were on our floor. So what's really good, so for Virgin, vvinsider.com has a lot of information about individual rooms. There's another cruise map thing, and we'll do a video about that so you guys can look things up if you wanted. And Reddit is really good, and there's a couple of cruise sites that are good about saying you don't want room X because of these reasons.
Right.
Another thing is,
you can also just, if you're looking at a particular room, you can go online and on YouTube and put that room number in, and somebody might have already done a video on it, so you can see what the room looks like.
And see, Club's saying, because I can sleep through anything, so that is what you should do. So now, for right now, it says if you have a lock-it-in rate, you can't bid up. But every single lock-it-in rate,
But within 30,
we have gotten a bid it up.
it doesn't happen right away like it does with the other ones.
And sometimes,
But about a month later, they send it.
well, they're saying I was reading on Reddit in the Virgin group, and the travel agents there were saying you have to get assigned your room and then you can bid. And we had that happen, but then we were able to bid for our UK trip where we booked a sea view room. And we don't have a room. We were able to book for these, we bid up for these two when we didn't have a room. So the rules are a little higgly-piggly.
I think it depends on how many people they have on a cruise. I think it depends on how much wiggle room they have on a cruise. If it's not booking up all the way, I think they may open it up.
We don't know.
We don't know the real reason,
But I'm
it's
trying
just like
to pay attention.
we're trying to figure out the pattern, but
What
there's
makes
not one
me
right now.
nervous is that they literally say, if you look in their stuff, if you get a lock-it-in room, you can't bid up. So I don't know if it might stop, and I will let you know. Because there are a couple of things for later this year I'm thinking about if I want to try and do something cheaper. With the My Next Virgin Voyage certificates that I was talking about before, when you're on the boat, or your travel agent, or you could find a travel agent that has them. There are old ones that are more valuable than these a little bit, but so you pay $150, you can get up to 4 of these, and then you use them within 2 years. So you get your $150 off whatever you're going to book. Then depending if it's a 4-night cruise, it's like $150 extra. There's another one that goes to 2, 9 and above is $250. So it's how many days you're cruising. And then you get whatever that number was, that bigger number, in Sailor Loot. And Sailor Loot you can spend on anything on the ship. You could gamble with it if you gamble. You could buy a t-shirt. You could use it for excursion, to pay for excursion through the ship. You can, it's kind of like boat cash. Whereas a bar tab, which you can buy separately, or for instance, when we're Deep Blue Extras, we'll each get a $100 bar tab. That's used only for drinks, but it can be used for coffee, it can be used for boba tea, it can be used for alcoholic drinks or non-alcoholic drinks. So, but it can't be used on a t-shirt.
Right.
And that's a little confusing. But one of the things we want to talk about too, we've talked a little bit in a live about the sleep headsets we've been using. I've been using Oslo, and actually that's one of the things I want to record. I brought stuff with me so I could record about it, because with us doing this, I can't sleep through everything. But the Oslos have really worked for me. We also tried Sound Beats, and you use, what's the one you use?
I use the Philips cocoons.
Cocoon. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So that would be valuable if you're wanting to do like a lock-it-in rate, if you're wanting to, if you're going, it's good for me just to go to a hotel. What if the people are next to me are loud? It's super helpful. What if Cheryl is snoring, or what if it used to be, what if the dog was making noise? And this helped me a lot.
Yeah, you don't even hear my sleep machine, and it's loud.
No. And Tia says, the process for tickets and upgrades seems overwhelming to me.
But it doesn't have to be.
That's why you use a travel agent. I'm just kind of trying to give the spiel of how I'm seeing it. I also
You don't have to bid up.
No.
You can pick exactly what you want the day that you book this trip, and never thinking about it again until you get on the ship.
You could be like, I know I want cabin 12750 on the Z side.
But you know we're going to be extra, and we're going to be doing...
Well, the more I'm kind of looking into things, the more I can understand the whole concept, and maybe if you guys have questions, I can better answer them. You guys know how I am with the Ninja Creamy.
She researches everything to death.
But so like really, what I would recommend if you've not gone on a cruise before is don't do all this research stuff. Find a really good travel agent. there's tons of them out there. They specialize in all different kinds of things. We're hoping to have a bunch of different travel agents on and interview them live. We were hoping to do Alan, hoping to do Helene,
Maybe Robin.
and then we have a few other friends that are travel agents as well.
And each one kind of almost specializes in something special. So
Right. And, you know, if it's Disney, if it's Carnival, if it's vegan stuff, if it's, you know, I like, one of the good things about Robin is she saves us from ourselves very
she does.
often.
She'll be like, you don't want to go on that.
You are not. She's like, I will not let you go
Yeah,
there.
you're not getting on that. That's stupid. That's a waste of money. You're
But
not going on that.
She's really, she's also good about, you know, she's been on Virgin a lot. She had a lot of good tips and tricks for that. She is just on.
She just got off of the
let's see,
MSC World.
America on its initial sailing.
Yeah.
And the spa looks amazing.
She sent some pictures out on her Facebook that I was like, oh, you're going to make us want to do MSC again.
Right, and our friend Helene just got back from Walt Disney and Universal, and she's vegan, and she has lots of good information about that. So it's important to find someone that you jive with, that you communicate with well, and who can make everything easier for you. So, you know, they're going to be the ones when something weird happens that calls Virgin or Celebrity or whoever. Like when we had our Splash of Romance, they put our champagne, they charged us for the champagne, and it didn't come off, partly because I think we just ordered it at the last minute.
No, I think it's because we did it on my phone instead of yours.
Okay. Could have been,
That's
but
fine.
it took us like 2 months to get that $100
Yeah.
back. But she took care of it. And so you want someone who's really going to be in your corner, who can take care of things, when Splash Romance disappeared on our phone the first time, and we were trying to figure it out while we were doing our embarkation, and she's like, why didn't you call us? Why didn't you call me? I would have taken care of that. I'm like, we were fine. They were like, don't worry about it.
The guy was like, we
So-
were like, we swear it was there 5 minutes ago, but their app is glitchy and they know it is, and so they don't really have a big deal about
So one thing I would say, research in that, figure out where you want to be. And I found the best way to do, you look at the company's website, but then go look at some people on YouTube who are talking about it. And that's been really helpful to me. But yeah, it can be overwhelming. The first time we just got a room, and there we got Splash Romance, so we knew we would get in early. And you know what? We didn't have Splash Romance this time. And it was fine. You don't even need that. It's not like you're going to wait 17 hours.
We didn't even have early embarkation this time, but we started out with 4:15 embarkation time, and by the time all was said and done, they'd moved us up to 2:30. Or you moved us up to 2:30.
So it was, and we'll talk about some of those processes. And also, I kind of wanted to, I'm going to do a little thing and show the bidding process on Virgin and some different things like that, so you'll get a better idea. Because one of the things I've noticed is you can, if you've bid for a bunch of different levels, you can tell which one they've actually accepted. Oh, hey,
Hello,
Apple. We are in
Bimini.
Bimini. Can you tell I'm getting tired?
She's getting tired.
I'm sorry.
It's actually
wow,
been.
we've talked for an hour and a half.
It's been a long day. Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy. It didn't seem. I guess we just kind of miss talking to you guys.
Yeah, always. But that's about all we have to say. We loved Bimini.
Yeah,
we
Bimini
loved
was
the
awesome.
beach club. Shocker. And in fact, we're coming back here at the end of next week. So next week we go to
Roatan. Costa
Maya, and that's it.
There one more.
Bimini.
Bimini.
Bimini. Hi. Yeah, we don't even know where we're going.
And we're
We've
doing
been-
a cool excursion in Costa Maya where we're going to go see some Mayan ruins. So we're going to make sure we get all that for you too, which is
Yeah.
going to be super cool.
Yeah. So we have lots of content coming.
And we snorkeled with turtles.
We did. It was cool. We did that in St. Croix. And it was really,
very
really
cool.
awesome. We may have said something about that.
Yeah, I think maybe we did that. I can't remember when the last time.
Hydron. So, Hydron, I am going to be ordering a Ninja Crispy. Aw. And Summer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Summer. We appreciate that.
We appreciate all of you guys and are sending you big, kind hugs and bright, sunny days that are slightly warm but not too warm.
Kind of like today.
Yeah, today's been a good day.
It's currently 75 degrees.
Here in Bimini, Bahamas. And here I was, I thought I didn't like the Bahamas because I didn't really, some of the ports, like Nassau Port is just, but Bimini was
Bimini's
sweet. Jeremy, you guys would love it. It's really this whole, it really is like a beach club
It's just a beach
resort
club.
that we get to go, and there's vegan food there.
Yeah.
So Cheryl is actually staring at it here.
Yeah. So it's
There.
right there is where we were all day, like right there on that beach.
Oh, I guess it was, huh?
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
Right on the other side of the breaky wall there. So it was
Ooh.
fun.
Hydra says, get the lavender. You know I will if I
Get
can.
the sale. How long's that sale?
I don't know. I guess we should find out after this.
We can order it and then just have somebody drag it in the house.
Well, Chef AJ asked me to show her how to use it.
Okay.
So that's as good a reason as any, right? And that way we'll just talk about all of it. Okay, guys. Probably we might go live tomorrow because we're going to be in Miami for a little while. So
Yeah.
we'll have, like, I'm using, when we're going live, I'm using phone internet.
We might be able to even do we might be able to set up the phone on the gimbal and
Ooh,
actually
do a
do
whole
some
tour?
of some of the areas of the
Okay,
ship
we-
for you if you'd like.
We'll see how that goes, and we'll come on a couple of different ports. The internet isn't so fast. We can go live when we're just on ship internet, even though we've got the premium, because now there's the work from sea, which is really the fancy one.
We got this thing with AT&T that if we're in a port that they support, like we pay $12 for the day, and so that's what we're doing now, and it was pretty speedy. So
Hopefully,
Here we
nobody
are.
complained, so hopefully it worked. And then when we were in, were we in? No, San Juan.
San
When we
Juan,
were in
we-
San Juan and went live, it just said it was included.
yeah.
So, all right.
And sorry about the interruption with the lady that takes care of our room.
One last look at Porta
That you guys
Plata
had to hear all
vanilla.
that, but yeah, all the important things like, how do we get the rum at the end of the thing? So our house
We got
sitters will
little
be happy.
bottles too, yeah, for house sitters.
Yeah.
And chocolate at the chocolate factory.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think the chocolate that we got in Jamaica was the best. Cheryl has a video coming out about that too.
Yeah.
All right, loves. Have the very best day.
We'll see you soon.